Hey everyone, recently one of our subscribers Vaishnavi cracked a Java backend developer interview at Capgemini, right? And I have also uploaded a video on her EPAM interview experiences, so you can watch that as well. So guys, basically she has shared her complete interview experiences with me, and I'll add her LinkedIn profile in the description so you can confirm with her as well, right? And guys, along with the question, I'll give the answers just to give you the context, okay? So basically, she applied through LinkedIn and she has around 5.5 year of experience, right? And guys, if you want to watch real interview experiences, then please make sure to subscribe. So now let's get started. So basically, Vaishnavi told me that first HR called her and scheduled her interviews. So there were total 2 rounds, right? First was pure technical and second was fully HR round. So let's discuss each round one by one. In the first round, first interviewer asks a stream API coding question where you are given a string and you have to find the character count. Okay, so basically we can count characters by converting a string into the stream of characters by using characters method, CHARS method, right? Then grouping by each character and counting using collectors dot grouping by and counting method. You remember, right? It returns a map of characters and count. This technique is useful for frequency-based problems like finding duplicates or most frequent characters, and you should know this. Then interviewer asks what is API gateway. So basically API gateway acts as a single entry point for all the client requests in microservices. Instead of calling multiple services directly, the client calls a gateway which routes requests to the appropriate services, right? It also handles authentication, logging, rate limiting, and load balancing. Are you getting my point? It simplifies client interaction and improves security. Okay. Then interviewer asks, how do you programmatically implement a circuit breaker pattern? So this is a tricky question. So we can implement circuit breaker pattern by using libraries like Resilience 4G, right? We define a circuit breaker with configuration like failure, rate, timeout, right? Wrap our service call inside it and handle fallback if it fails. Programmatically, we use annotations like circuit breaker or create it using a factory classes and decorate method calls. Okay. Then interviewer asks what is service discovery and gives steps to register a service in service registry. Okay. So basically service discovery helps service finds each other dynamically without hard coding URLs, right? Tools like Eureka are used. Steps are add a dependency, enable discovery client using enable discovery client annotation, configure register URL and start the service. That's all, right? It's automatically registered itself and can discover other services. Okay. Guys, an interviewer asks what is transactional annotation and its key attributes. So basically transactional annotation is used to manage transactions in Spring, right? It ensures commit or rollback of the operations. Key attributes are propagation, means how transactions behave, isolation, it means data visibility level, rollback for, it means exceptions trigger rollback, and timeout, right? It helps maintain consistency in database operations. Then interviewer asks how to programmatically implement JWT and Spring Security. So basically, guys, we first authenticate user credentials, then generate a JWT token by using a secret key. This is sent to the clients and included in headers for every request. Okay. In Spring Security, we create filters to validate the token, configure security rules, and access based on token validation. And guys, before moving to the next question, I would like to share one important thing with you. Actually, Vaishnavi prepared from our interview preparation kit. So let me tell you, this kit has 4 main parts. First is complete interview preparation material, right? It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviewers. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it, right? Second is 2 real enterprise client projects, code and video recorded sessions are there, and you can add this in your resume. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime. And fourth is referral support. Here we help you to get referred to the top MNCs. Okay. So basically the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git, coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. You can buy just the complete interview preparation material or the full interview preparation kit with project supports and referrals. Okay, I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview experience. As an interviewer asks what is OAuth 2. So basically OAuth 2 is an authorization framework that allows third party apps to access user data without sharing passwords, right? It works using access token, for example logging in with Google. It has roles like clients, resource owner, authorization server, and resource server, etc. Okay, it improves security and user control over data sharing. Then interviewer asks, suppose you have two services A and B using auto add annotation on each other, right? Now app fails to start. What would be the reason? So basically this is a circular dependency issue. This is the first thing, right? Spring tries to create both beans, but each depends on the other. So it gets stuck during initialization. This mostly happens with constructor injection. Okay. To fix it, we can use lazy annotation, switch to setter injection, or redesign the logic to remove tight coupling. Then the interviewer asks, you get lazy initialization exception when accessing a collection. Then tell me what's the reason. Okay, so basically this happens when I try to access a lazy load entity outside the Hibernate session. The session is already closed, so it cannot fetch data, right? So to fix it, we can use fetch is equal to eager, use data projection, or fetch data inside a transactional method before closing the session. Okay. Then interviewer asks, let's say Spring throws no unique bean definition exception. So how would you fix it? So basically this error occurs when multiple beans of the same type are present and Spring doesn't know which one to inject. Okay. To fix it, we can use qualifier annotation to specify the exact bean or mark one bean as primary annotation. This helps Spring decide which beans to use. Then interviewer asked, your API works fine locally but is slow in production, so how would you debug? Okay, so basically first I check logs and monitoring tools to identify bottlenecks. Okay, then I'll analyze database queries, API response time, and thread usage. Okay, and then I'll also check the network latency, caching, and load issues, right? Tools like Actuator, APM tools, and Profile help me find the root cause and improve the performance. Okay. Then guys, interviewer asked to explain full life cycle of Spring Bean. So basically Spring Bean life cycle start with instantiation, then dependency injection happens, right? After that, initialization methods like post construct are called. The bean is then ready to use. Finally, before destruction, pre-destroy method is called. Spring manages this entire life cycle automatically inside container. Okay. Then interviewer asks, let's say an application fails during startup due to bean creation error. So how would you debug? So basically, first I will check the stack trace and logs to identify which bean failed. Then I'll verify configuration and annotations and dependencies, right? I'll also check for circular dependencies or missing beans. Enabling debug logs and using actuator can help get more insights to quickly find and fix the issue. Okay. Then interviewer asks, what are actuators in Spring Boot application? So basically guys, actuators are production ready features in Spring Boot that helps monitors and manage applications, right? They provide endpoints like health, metrics, info, and logs. Okay, using these we can check application status, performance, and environment details. It's very useful for monitoring apps in production and integrating with tools like Prometheus. Okay. Then interviewer asks, what is Kafka and how would you programmatically implement Kafka and what annotations you will use. So guys, basically Apache Kafka is distributed messaging system used for real-time data streaming, right? In Spring Boot, we use annotations like enable Kafka annotation, Kafka listener for consuming messages, okay, and Kafka template for producing messages. We configure brokers and topics and properties, right? It helps in building scalable and event-driven system. Then interviewer asks to difference between the RabbitMQ and Kafka. So basically, RabbitMQ is a message broker based on queues where messages are removed once consumed, right? Whereas Kafka is a distributed streaming platform where messages are stored and can be read multiple times. Okay, RabbitMQ is good for task queues, whereas Kafka is better for high throughput data streaming and event-driven architectures. Then interviewer asks, in AWS, how would you autoscale an EC2 instance? So basically in AWS, we use autoscaling groups to automatically scale EC2 instances, right? We define scaling policies based on the metrics like CPU usage or traffic. If load increases, new instances are launched, and if it is decreases, instances are terminated. Okay, it ensures high availability and cost optimization. Then interviewer asked to explain about CI/CD and deployment process in a project. So basically, CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. Okay. In CI, developers push code to repo, build, and test runs automatically. In CD, the code is deployed to the environments like staging or production, right? Tools like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, or GitLab CI are used. It helps in faster, reliable, and automated deployments. So guys, this was a technical round, and in the HR round, interviewer asked common questions like why should we hire you, how would you lead a team, right, and salary negotiations, etc. So guys, this is all about Vaishnavi technical interview experience at Capgemini, and if you want to watch more interview experiences like this, then please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.